Hello. Well, as evidenced by all of these journals, I've been practicing journaling for years. Putting ink on paper is a practice that, especially during these tough times, helps me clear my mind. It aids clarity and connects my random thoughts and feelings, reactions, and with the situation. Especially now, when many of us have feelings of isolation and disconnectedness, it's a healthy outlet. And I always end every entry with a gratitude and an intention for the day or for the week. I'm not the only one who enjoys journaling as self care. Here's what Oprah says.
We're already wrapping up our first week together, sharing and building hope. In this first week, we learned that hope is a real and powerful force. The energy of hope can help eclipse fear and anxiety in uncertain times. Welcome to day 7, where we uncover the secret to finding hope everywhere. I find my greatest hope in the space of gratitude. I just gotta tell you, because I believe the more grateful you are, the more hopeful you automatically will become. I have volumes and volumes of gratitude journals. Every night before I go to bed, I write down 5 things that gave me great pleasure or gratitude in the day, or 5 things that I'm really grateful for. This has been part of my spiritual practice for many years. Here's what I was grateful for on October 12, 1996. That's over 20 years ago. Number 1, a run around Florida's Fisher Island. I had a nice little apartment there with a slight breeze that kept me cool. Number 2 was eating cold melon on a bench in the sun. Number 3 was a long, hilarious chat with Gail about her blind date with a guy who I will just refer to as Mr. Potato Head. Number 4, sorbet in a cone so sweet that I literally licked my fingers. And number 5, Maya Angelou calling to read me a new poem. What I realized was that gratitude was expanding my awareness as well as my happiness.
So I thought to share with you one of the entries in my journal. This is April 1st of this year. Here's what I wrote. This is April Fool's Day. I once looked up the origins of April Fools, which is hundreds of years old and most likely started in France when they switched from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. Of course, back then, they didn't have newspapers, telephones, televisions, or the internet. So many people didn't get word that the new year now commenced on January 1st, not the old traditional last week of March through April 1st. Hence, those who didn't celebrate on January 1st were called fools. I only wish that this whole pandemic thing was an April Fool's prank. Maybe if we didn't have social media and sensationalized journalism, it wouldn't be as scary. But the more I read, the more fearful I become. With school closed, I wonder about the safety of our children. I wonder how long we'll be off campus. And I wonder how long this pandemic will last. My generation and my child's generation have no reference points, nothing from which to draw courage and optimism. I wish my parents were alive to help put perspective on all of this. They lived through the episodes of tuberculosis and polio and somehow survived. But I wonder if they were scared, if they were quarantined, and if they felt isolated. What coping mechanisms did they use to be resilient? I'm wondering how this disease even propagated, how it originated. I've heard all kinds of things, all of them having to do with China. Could this have been averted? Was a pandemic in the 21st century inevitable no matter where it originated? I continue to have hope and desires for my future, for my daughter's well-being, our community, and our world. I am grateful for my excellent health. I am grateful for my daughter. I'm grateful for our home and for the new man in my life. Though we've just met, there's a strong connection from which I'm opening my heart for the first time in 7 years. My intention: I embody and emit the energy that I wish to experience. So, here's the cool thing about journaling. It engages both sides of the brain. The left side, the left hemisphere, is the rational side of the brain, and it's occupied by constructing sentences and formulating thoughts and using small motor skills, whether it's typing or writing with a pen. While the right side, the creative side, is ignited by the exploration of ideas, and maybe even you're doodling while you're thinking. So over the years, here's some tips that I would like to share with you that I have found work for me. First, write in a private, personalized space that's free of distraction. Secondly, make it a daily practice. Consistency is important. 3, allow time to reflect and balance after you're done writing. Have a cup of coffee or a nice cup of tea. Give yourself a little moment to just be. If you're writing to overcome trauma, don't feel obligated to write about that specific traumatic event or events. Just journal what feels right at that moment. It'll be organic. It'll be right. Retain privacy. Keep your writing in a safe place, whether it's in a book or on a computer. It's for your eyes only. And select a beautiful book and a pen that you like to write with, so that when you look at it, it motivates you to pick it up and use it. The School of Positive Psychology uses the word write as a guide. So I wanted to share that with you as well. So W equals write. Think about what's going on in your life, your current feelings, your thoughts, your aspirations and challenges, and give it a name. Put it on paper. R, review and reflect. Take a few moments to be still. Calm your breath. Focus. I, start your sentences with I. I feel, I want, I think. Investigate your thoughts and your feelings. And if you run out of things to write or your mind starts to wander, that's okay. Read what you've already written and then allow your intuition to take over. It'll come naturally. T, allow yourself enough time, whether it's in the morning or at night. You'll know when it's enough, whether it's too much or too little. I personally like to write prior to retiring for bed so that I can reflect on the day. But everybody's time and space and obligations are different. Yours might actually alternate between the morning and the evenings, depending on your family needs and your work dynamics. E, end with intention. Read what you've written. Allow time for introspection and concluding thoughts. You can even write them down. As I read this, I notice. Write down any action steps that you feel need to be taken and notice any triggers that come up. Most importantly, just be kind to yourself. Don't be critical of your prose and your sentence structure, your thoughts, or your feelings. This is self-care. It's not a critique about your writing prowess. So just be in the process and don't worry that it's not publishable. This is for you. So I encourage you this week to indulge in some form of healthcare, whatever, self-care and healthcare, whatever that is for you, and be safe and be well.